Sunflowers are the perfect flower for a summer centerpiece, but sometimes they can feel too basic or traditional. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a more modern, minimalistic centerpiece using a wide range of varieties of sunflowers. My name is Ellen Frost. I'm building a community of flower nerds online by sharing knowledge and creating connections. If you're a flower nerd, subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link is in the description. So the first thing to do is to choose a vase that feels more modern. I've chosen this ceramic gray bowl. Now it has a tapered bottom, so I'm going to actually use two mechanics today. So first I'm going to put in a flower frog. This is a pin frog, and it actually fits perfectly at the bottom of this bowl. Alien tape is a great way to fasten your flower frog to your vase. And what I'm going to do is put it at the bottom of my frog. And I want to make sure that it totally covers the edge of my frog. I don't want any water to get underneath. So on top of my frog, I'm going to use a second mechanic. This is just a plastic coated chicken wire, and I'm going to turn it into what I call a chicken wire burrito. And then I'm going to fold these ends in on themselves, although this is more of a ball. Sunflower stems are notoriously thick and heavy, so I want to make sure that my chicken wire is really secured. I'm going to use the same alien tape. So I'm going to start my design today. This is going to be a very simple design in terms of the elements that I'm going to use. So I'm going to start with this. This is feverfew. I know it looks like chamomile, but it is feverfew. Chamomile and feverfew look very similar, and it's very fragrant. It smells very herby. It almost smells like soap. And this is really going to take the place of foliage in my design today. And I don't need it to fill up the arrangement. I really just want to cover the mechanics a little bit so that you don't see the chicken wire once we get started. It also is going to add a little bit of a different shape and texture to the design, even though I think it's going to mimic the shape and the size of the shape and the look of the sunflowers with these dainty little heads. We are using 4 different kinds of sunflowers today. We're using a dark, more traditional yellow, and this lighter, really like light lemon yellow. These are the Pro Cuts, and this is Pro Cut Gold, and this is Pro Cut Orange, which is a name that makes no sense to me because it is not orange at all. So Pro Cut Gold and Pro Cut Orange. So these two are a little bit more traditional in terms of the way we traditionally think about sunflowers, but in combination with these lighter yellows, we're going to have a little bit of a more unique look. Now these lighter yellows are very popular in floral design, and we've got 2 different types that we're using today. So this is white light, this is the yellow on yellow, and this is white night. So part of what's going to make this arrangement more interesting is that we're going to use a mix of all of these yellows. So to start, I'm going to show you why first that I put that frog in. I really want to create some height in this design. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my stem and I'm putting it right through the pins of the frog. That doesn't hurt the flowers in any way, but what it allows you to do is have your flowers stand straight up and down in a wide bowl. All right, so I'm starting with some of my stems standing straight up and down. And I'm making sure that they are not on the same plane visually, so one is taller than the other and their faces are not facing the same way. And I'm starting with one type of variety. So I'm starting with, these are the Pro Cut Gold. And this is a design that's going to be seen on all sides. So I have to be conscious about making sure that from any view, you are going to get a good look at these sunflowers. Now another trick with using sunflowers is that we are used to putting flowers in our arrangements straight up and down and having the flower bend outward. There are lots of ways that you can place sunflowers that are not in the traditional placement. So this flower, I'm going to actually put it in an angle, but I'm going to let its bloom face upwards. So this is going to be all about layering and making sure that our flowers are not on the same visual plane. Next, I'm going to use the Pro Cut Orange. And this is a more traditional looking sunflower, gold petals, black center. So I'm going to use some of these, but I'm going to use these just minimally. I don't want to use too many of these because, like I said, I don't want this to feel like a traditional sunflower design. So I'm putting this in through my chicken wire, and then I'm making sure that it is hitting some of those pins so that it stays in place. All right, next I'm going to go to the white nights and the white lights. This is pretty much the way that it should be harvested. You can see these petals are just starting to open. That's usually how our growers deliver sunflowers to us. I'm trimming off all of these leaves. I don't really love sunflower leaves and they rarely ever look good, so I'm taking all of those off. And you can see that I'm going to start using these in different stages, some closed, some open. That's going to help give some more interest to our design. All right, the last one I'm going to use are the white lights. This is actually my favorite of the four. This light yellow with this light yellow center. I just love these. Sometimes you'll get a stem that is not straight. This one's amazing. So I want to work this in with all of its weird shape. All right, I'm loving how it's looking. I don't want to overfill. I'm going to add a little bit more of the feverfew just to clean up the edges a little bit, but I think it's just about done. So here's a more modern take on a traditional sunflower centerpiece. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and if you're a flower nerd, subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link is in the description.